Hi there, lovely, and welcome to Let's Chat. I'm Rhonda Chrimes, and I'm a certified life and leadership coach and trainer for everyday women just like you who are tired of being people-pleasing good girls, or who I prefer to call super givers. I'm here to do all I can to guide and support these beautiful super givers in my community to be able to use their voice, make their stand, and live their life their way. If that sounds like something you'd like to know more about, keep listening and don't be shy to reach out and take advantage of my offers and invitations for one-to-one and group coaching, training and mentoring opportunities, where together we'll curiously explore what is most important for you to stand for, to compassionately encourage you to speak your truth and to courageously live your life aligned to your heart's desire, with confidence and without guilt. In this episode, let's chat about why we hold on to what's getting in the way. Have you ever been in a situation where you believe you are right about something and someone else is telling you something different? You know, like if you've always been a coffee with cow's milk and 2 sugars kind of gal, and I come along and tell you that you should drink tea with almond milk and no sugar, because that's what I do. Now, granted, this is a pretty insignificant example, but so often what's getting in the way of our growth and resilience threshold to make change is also seemingly insignificant. I got to ask you, how many of you have gotten completely caught up in the toilet paper over or under debate? Yes, now we have some common ground. And very much like how we all manage our loo roll beliefs, we also manage the beliefs we hold about parenting, relationships, work ethic, multiculturalism, religion, taxes, welfare, and everything else you can think about. The interesting thing is that we are usually following an autopilot script that our brain has shorthanded for us when we encounter a certain set of criteria or a particular experience it recognizes. Our brains do this to keep us safe and not have to problem solve the same thing every time it happens. And this seems to work okay until we're challenged on a belief we're holding on to. And in my experience, we generally go in one of 3 ways. We might try and make an effort to understand the other person's perspective. And one of us may well come around to the other if their argument is compelling enough. In this process, our depth of understanding has grown and we have increased our resilience threshold to make changes, however large or small they might be. Or we might go totally in the other direction with both thinking the other is a complete loser for holding that position or viewpoint. Neither of us changes a thing, and there is no growth opportunity for either party. Then alternatively, we might make a kind of mutual compromise that embraces the individual choice of each other. Like if I load the loo roll at my house, it'll be under. But if I come to your house, it'll be over, and we pinky promise neither of us will change it around. In this way, you have upheld your choice, I've upheld my choice, and we might agree to disagree. In reality, though, each of us are still holding on to our belief, come hell or high water, and there is zero opportunity for any growth or resilience to change. And for the most part, this is what we do with the majority of our beliefs and stories as well. We hold on to them because our brains have made us believe that this is the only way we can exist. So when someone simply says, oh, just let it go, it will likely fall on deaf ears. Even if what we believe is holding us stuck firmly in place and what they are saying could make sense or help us to move forward. I'd like to share 3 reasons why we do this, with the hope that you, my beautiful peace-craving supergiver, can challenge the validity of some of the beliefs or stories that are getting in your way of living the life you do want to live. Firstly, I want to tell you a story about training baby elephants for working in fields and the many other laborious chores of their masters. When they are very small, they are tied securely by their leg to a post in the ground, and try as they might, they can't free themselves. They tug and pull, but to no avail, and eventually they give in to their fate. The baby elephant is stuck in the belief it simply cannot escape. As time passes, the elephant grows up and becomes big and strong. It has powerful legs and a trunk that can lift whole trees. The elephant can now pull very heavy objects across vast distances, yet its master still secures it to the same post at the end of each workday. The reality is that elephant could simply walk away from the post if it wanted to. But it now has a belief held so firmly that the post is this immovable thing. And the adult elephant remains tied to it, falsely believing it can never get away. This is called learned helplessness, and many of our own beliefs are formed in the same way. Unless we take control of our actions, like the elephant, we can be stuck, tied to the posts of our own childhoods. I wonder, what metaphorical posts were you tied to as a young child that are still holding you helplessly in place? This can look like you are the victim at the effect of what is happening to you. Were you told things like, you're not clever enough, not good enough, definitely not good with money? Maybe it was, good girls don't do things like that. Please do share some of the things that you learned when you were a young child that have been left unchallenged as you've become an adult. The second reason is generational conditioning. You know, the beliefs and stories that have been passed down from the generations that have gone before us. Do you recall any time growing up when you were discouraged from following your own dreams because there were expectations of the path you must follow? Usually this is instigated by our family, but the source can be culturally wider than that. How frugal we are is informed by how frugal our parents or authority figures are. If you grew up hearing about rising interest rates and money not growing on trees and needing to work hard to make ends meet, your beliefs around money will be very different to someone who was raised learning about the benefits of compound interest, investing and paying yourself first. Another really common area impacted by the beliefs held by the family collectively is the degree of commitment and relevance toward education. Ultimately, this is to satisfy their measure of future stability, success, and reputation. Like being told to just finishing high school is all you need to get a good job. You're going to get married anyway. Or to leave early and get a trade or a traineeship. You can always fall back on that after you've had the children. Compare these to being told you must unequivocally commit to getting a university degree to even be considered successful in a career. These stories are often in direct correlation to what the family has already done for generations, or because each generation has the belief that their children must excel educationally so as not to bring shame upon their elders. So, what stories have you been told that were based on this notion of this is what we expect of you, or what you should do so you don't discredit your family. What I've noticed in my super giver community is that this can manifest as superwoman practicing perfectionism so she can be considered good enough. The last one I want to cover today is unconscious familiarity. Let me explain with a little activity that you can try while you're watching or listening. Pick up a pencil or some other small object that you'd be willing to drop without giving it a second thought. Now hold onto it firmly so it won't fall out of your hand. And as you continue to grip the object, notice how it's starting to feel uncomfortable yet familiar. Keep holding it firmly. I want you to pretend your hand is your gut or your consciousness, and that the object is one of your beliefs or stories. You know, something like believing that good girls always put the needs of their family first, or only selfish girls ask for what they want. Things like, don't get too big for your boots, missy. Think of some of your own. I'm sure there are many if you go looking for them. Now return your attention to your hand, still holding the object. But you possibly didn't really notice it as much while I was distracting you. So just relax your hand a little and allow the object to roll around in it. I want you to notice that you are the one holding onto it. It's not attached to your hand. If you turn your hand upside down and release your grip, the object will fall. The same can be true for your beliefs and the stories that you're holding on to. The uncomfortable emotions, beliefs, and stories are as attached to you as that object was to your hand. We hold on to these discomforts and then we forget we're holding on to them. One way we do this is with language. When we feel angry, we don't simply say, I feel angry. We grip it and say, I am angry. And when we do this, we're misidentifying what we're feeling. We are holding the feeling, the story, or the belief, sometimes long enough that it becomes unconsciously familiar. But the feeling, the story, or the belief isn't us. It's separate, and we're always in control. We can let it go. We just don't recognize that. So what things for you have become so familiar that you've forgotten you're holding on to them? In my experience, this can show up as resentment toward people and circumstances. Again, I'd love you to share what comes up for you. Now, this is not intended as a comprehensive list of reasons why we hold on to stuff by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do hope that it has been food for thought if you're feeling unfulfilled or things are just not as good as you thought they might be by now. I'd love you to take some time to look for what you might be holding on to that's getting in your way. And if you'd like some extra help, why not join my 5-day challenge, 2022, Looking Back to Learn. I've included the link in the notes that wherever you're watching or listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Let's Chat about why we hold on to what's getting in the way. And I would be thrilled if you'd let me help you curiously explore that for yourself in the 5-day challenge. Thanks for being here right to the very end of the episode. I hope there were just enough ahas or oh no's to be of value for you. I truly enjoyed chatting with you, and if you did too, can I ask that you share it with friends who would benefit or be interested as well? Also, for more brownie points, could I ask you to leave a comment, either reviewing it, asking for more info, or letting me know you've got other questions or topics you'd like me to cover off? Much love. Till next time.